I want to share one major quick tip with you about how I was able to successfully overcome a significant, major life-altering trauma in my life and get my life back. And by the way, you can see I'm driving. I'm not looking at the camera, so I don't want any comments about, hey, you should be looking at the road. I'm looking at the road, just so you know. I'm well aware. I'm talking as if you're in this car with me. But here's the thing. There are a number of things that contributed to my successful recovery after a major trauma. For most of you who know me, you know I was injured severely by a suicide bomber in Afghanistan. He nearly killed me. He just about did it. And I had 14 months at a medical center, burn treatment, reconstructive surgery, a mild traumatic brain injury, memory issues, all kinds of problems. How did I go from waking up in that ditch burned and bloody in Kandahar to where I can now talk about it without any negative emotion associated whatsoever, and even publicly in front of tens and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people like I have over the past decade? Here's one major tip, and I want you to apply this to your life. I'm going to say what it is, then I'm going to give you the example of what happened and how it applies to your life. I had a positive emotional experience after experiencing the negative emotional experience as a result of my injury. I had a positive emotional experience after the fact, which surpassed the negative emotional experience that I had. All right, so here's the deal. I was injured severely. A long road to recovery. But then the first time I shared my story, I had a young lady come up to me who had been raped and abused and molested growing up, and by her boyfriend. He dumped her, and she tried to kill herself, but she failed suicide. She told me this right after I got off stage, the first time I ever spoke about my injury publicly. It just so happened to be in front of about 3,000 people at a live event. So I didn't know what happened, but something clicked in me in that moment. This was about 6 or 7 months after my injury, and I felt pulled in that direction, inspired. I had to find other people like her. It felt good. It gave meaning to the fact that I was injured, that maybe this was so I could meet this young lady and help her win her battles. Maybe my injury was more about helping other people than it was me being injured. So again, what's the whole point with this? And by the way, there's science behind what I'm saying. There's literal science behind this. The positive emotions I experienced through that experience with her and with many other people at this point surpassed and outweighed the negative emotions I experienced as a result of my injury. So I want you to think about this. Hijack your trauma. What can you do to experience a positive emotional experience that surpasses and outweighs the negative emotional experience that you tend to have when you think back on your trauma, that thing that hurt you? Find a way, at all costs, find a way to have a positive emotional experience where that positive surpasses and outweighs the negative. The positive emotion surpasses and outweighs the negative emotion that you're probably used to and accustomed to experiencing and thinking on. There's an old Bible verse that says, as a man thinks, so is he. As you think, so shall you be. That's the way it is. That is how we are wired. So what positive emotional experience can you create? What can you do to create those positive emotions that can outweigh the negative ones? When you find something that does that for you, keep doing it. That's why I speak and write books about resilience and overcoming, because I'm pulled in that direction. Because those positive emotions have so far outweighed the negative for so many years now that I'm not even affected by talking about my horrifically painful trauma experience. What is that in your life? Identify, do something that creates positive emotional reactions out of yourself that surpass and outweigh the negative ones you currently experience. That is a major key to overcoming your trauma. Use it. Comment below. Share this video if you know somebody who's been hurt, who's been through something. Help the world become better and you will become better.